Right now at 6, a big step toward the future of Moda and Rip City.
We know that the Blazers belong in Portland, and we're proving it here today.
Plus, a panel of judges decides if federal agents can use tear gas on protesters at Portland's ICE facility.
Then, the big bird pushed to the brink of extinction, now making a comeback, and the Oregon Zoo now playing a key role.
Every single egg that hatches, we know, is a success.
And later, a cross-country flight lands at PDX with one passenger more than it took off with.
But first at 6, a major step forward toward renovating Moda and by extension, working to keep the Trailblazers in the Rose City. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. That's after the governor signed a bill that dedicates more than $350 million toward fixing up one of the oldest arenas in the NBA. Let's get right to our Devin Haskins live at Moda this evening. Devin, all this cannot happen without county and city money.
Yeah, there's a few things that need to happen before any of the money in that bill gets allocated for the renovations. One of those being that the Blazers need to sign a long-term lease. When asking the governor today about where things stood with those negotiations, the governor said everything's still ongoing.
We know that the Blazers belong in Portland, and we're proving it here today.
And with the stroke of a pen, Governor Tina Kotek signed the Moda Center funding bill into law.
Together, we are investing in our future. And I couldn't be more proud of where we are, and there is more work to do.
The Moda Center, then the Rose Garden, opened in 1995 after 2 years of construction. The arena was built using private dollars, but 2 years ago, the city assumed control of the Moda Center through a bridge agreement. It is the oldest arena in the NBA that has never undergone a major renovation.
Renovating the Moda is part of the resurgence we are seeing all around Portland, and it represents our city's turnaround and the promise of a stronger future.
With the signing of the bill, the state will authorize up to $365 million in state-issued bonds to upgrade the aging arena. But it comes with contingencies.
We are going to get the best deal for Oregonians. Remember, there's no new taxes related to this.
The city and county would need to pass their own funding package, making up the other $235 million needed for the full $600 million for renovations. And the new team owner would need to agree to a 20-year lease, keeping the team in Portland.
Have they given you that assurance, even in a verbal agreement?
Well, when I've spoken with Tom, here's what I hear from him. He knows a good investment when he sees it. He sees our fan base. He understands, especially now with the agreement from the NBA for him to become the owner, the fact that there's expansion in Seattle, which is going to create, a new West Coast dynamic. This is where he wants to be, and he has said that to me. He also wants to get the right deal, and we do too.
And in remarks before the signing, Trailblazers President of Business Operations, Dwayne Hankins, said that staying is the goal.
I think from the beginning, our goal has been very straightforward. It's to pursue a market rate partnership for Moda Center and keep the Blazers in Portland long term.
As far as when construction could start, the hope is that construction would start in next summer, so summer of 2027, wrapping up in about 2 years. Back to you guys.
Still a lot of work that needs to happen, though, before the ball gets rolling here. Thank you, Devin.
In your headlines this evening, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has sided with the Trump administration in a lawsuit over the use of tear gas at Portland's ICE facility. The order, which came down this afternoon, overturns a lower court ruling that had temporarily blocked federal agents from using tear gas, pepper balls, and other non-lethal munitions, except under very specific circumstances. In the split decision, the majority found the ruling from the lower court was overly broad. The lawsuit underlying this case, filed by a number of protesters, including the man known as the Portland Chicken, continues.
To D.C. now, where the suspected shooter at the White House Correspondents' Dinner Saturday has been charged with attempting to assassinate the president. Cole Thomas Allen appeared in federal court in Washington, D.C. for the first time this morning. The Justice Department says the 31-year-old charged through a security checkpoint at the Correspondents' Dinner holding a, quote, long gun, likely like the gun in these images obtained by CNN. Officials say a Secret Service agent fired at Allen 5 times but did not hit him before Allen fell to the ground and was arrested.
There will be additional charges as this investigation continues to unfold. But make no mistake, this was an attempted assassination of the President of the United States, with the defendant making clear what his intent was. And that intent was to bring down as many of the high-ranking cabinet officials as he could.
President Donald Trump and high-level officials were taken to safety. Authorities say one agent was hit while he was wearing a protective vest, and they are expected to recover.
In Beaverton, a 21-year-old is in custody accused of killing a 20-year-old man. Authorities were called to the Parkbrook Manor Apartments on Southwest 5th around 7 this morning. That's where they say they found the victim dead in a parking lot and Baltazar Rivera Brito nearby. Detectives say the suspect there and the victim knew each other.
In Clark County, at least one person is dead and another in custody after a shooting near a park. The sheriff's office says this was just after 11 o'clock near Northeast Ward Road and Davis, not too far from Hawkinson Meadows Community Park. Deputies say the person was dead when they arrived. Investigators don't believe there is any ongoing risk to the community.
Washington's Attorney General suing supermarket giant Albertsons and its subsidiaries, accusing them of overcharging customers through what he calls deceptive buy one, get one free deals. So in the lawsuit, AG Nick Brown alleging the company inflated prices ahead of promotions and claims grocery stores lowered prices back down about a month later, sometimes even lower than before the deal. In Washington, Albertsons also owns Safeway and Hagen grocery stores. Both Albertsons and Safeway responded saying they operate in good faith, and the lawsuit is based on flawed data.
And take a look at this video from over the weekend. It shows a Cannon Beach fire crew in need of a hand while they were out on the way to rescue someone. Crews were responding to reports of a missing surfer and crossing through Ecola Creek when they got stuck in a shallow trench. The deputy chief says the water level quickly rose about 5 feet. You can see the truck ended up in the ocean. It took the help of 2 Jeeps from a 4x4 group to pull that truck out. Now, the fire district believes the truck is a total loss. You can see all that water just pouring out. That is, except for some equipment that wasn't a total loss that they were able to recover. Matt?
Well, there's one training exercise they'll never forget, right? All right, let's take you out to the Oregon coast right now. There's Astoria. You see the clouds in the air. It has been a cloudy day, 55 degrees, west winds, but you know what? We've got quite a bit of sunshine in the 7-day forecast, a lot of it. They got sunshine up on Mount Hood right now. Super cool cloud formation there. This is a mountain wave cloud forming over the top of the mountain here with northerly winds aloft, keeping things cool too. It's only 34 degrees at Timberline at 6,000 feet in the Mount Hood National Forest. But boy, are there ever warmer days ahead, especially as we get into the weekend. Today was a cool one. We topped out at 58. Average is in the mid-60s this time of the year, so we were definitely running a deficit. Medford made 67, and the Dalles was 68 for the hot spot in the state today. Tomorrow morning, it'll be cloudy again. It'll be cloudy through early afternoon. We'll begin to get some breaks in the clouds late in the afternoon, and that'll help us get a little bit warmer, get up to about 64. But wait till you see the 7-day forecast. We've got 80s for the first time this year, guys.
Sounds good. Thank you, Matt. Developing this evening, a new proposal could dramatically reshape Portland's controversial arts tax, raising the rate for some taxpayers while letting others off the hook entirely.
Kyle Aboshi's in the newsroom with those details. Kyle?
As it stands now, most Portland residents pay $35 a year for the arts tax. But if approved, this new proposal would raise that annual tax rate to $50 for individuals and $100 for joint filers. The city of Portland may soon consider the most significant change to the arts tax since voters approved it in 2012. Under proposal from Council President Jamie Dunphy, the arts tax, a $35 annual fee, would rise to $50 for individuals and $100 for joint filers. The policy would also keep low-income Portlanders from having to pay the tax. If approved, anyone with taxable income of $20,000 or less or $40,000 for joint filers would be exempt. The arts tax generates around $11 million a year, money that goes to public school arts programs and nonprofits. Since its inception, the arts tax has been a lightning rod of controversy, triggering complaints about the clunky collection process. A recent city audit found that roughly 25% of qualifying Portlanders still don't pay the tax.
To raise it is absolutely the wrong thing to do.
John Charles, president of the free market think tank Cascade Policy Institute, thinks the city should do away with this controversial tax.
The whole hassle and the expense of collecting it and the annoyance to voters for this tiny amount of money, it's not even worth it. Just stop. Get rid of it. Give people a break.
The proposal would also change the tax to be adjusted annually to match inflation and for the first time establish clear definitions for how the money should be spent and who it should serve. A recent audit found the city hadn't consistently delivered on its promises related to the arts tax. Council President Dunphy wasn't available for an interview, but told OPB, "We've not identified a way to make the tax not annoying, but we found ways to make it less annoying." Later this week, city leaders will begin discussing this proposal with hopes that it will advance through council by summer in time to change how the tax is paid next year.
I mean, by all means, if they can make it less annoying, in the council president's words, let's go for it. Thanks, Kyle.